Hi, this is Jennifer Ronay with Chicago 3 Media. We are at the Auditorium Theater of Roosevelt University, where the Joffrey Ballet will be performing The Merry Widow through February 27th. We're going to chat with one of the dancers to find out what makes this performance so special and if being in a dance company is anything like Black Swan. Aaron Rodgers, not to be confused with the quarterback of that team we don't like to talk about in Chicago, but ironically, football and ballet are both physically grueling. A lot of football players take ballet to improve their agility and their balance. What is your daily regimen? I'm sure it's not anything I could keep up with.
Well, we usually start with class every day at 10 o'clock. So most of the dancers get there between 9 or 10, depending on what they want to do before class. They want to do a lot of stretching or some conditioning exercises. And class goes for an hour and a half. And then we rehearse every day from 12 to 6 with an hour lunch break.
So that's about 8 hours of physical exercise. And then it's a little different on performance days?
Yeah, on performance days and the day before performance also, it's with the union there are less hours that we can work. But usually we work 4 hours the day before and 2 or 3 hours the day of, depending on how much time we need on stage.
And you're from Elgin, Illinois, so you're in the Joffrey Ballet in Chicago, in your hometown. Has your family been by to see you?
Of course, yeah. My mom makes it to most of the shows, and it's nice to be, close to your family. And so
growing up, when did you know you wanted to do ballet? Because you did gymnastics originally, right?
Yeah, so I was taking both gymnastics and dance for a few years, and I just sort of decided that I liked dance better, and there's big commitments for each of those things. So, it came time to choose, and I chose dance, and here
I haven't looked back.
Here I am, yeah.
And The Merry Widow is more of an, I keep saying uplifting, but it's more of a lighthearted show. How does that compare to some of the other performances you've been in?
I think it makes it a lot more fun and easy, to be on stage as a group. There's definitely a different dynamic for a full length because you're playing the same character throughout, each of these different acts, and so it's definitely a lot different in the way you approach it versus if you were doing, just a singular, 20 or 25-minute ballet. That this is over the whole evening, and so it's.
And so you play an aristocrat in this, and your role is it. How do you act while you're dancing? I guess that's a hard question to answer, but it's like you can't use words, obviously, so you have to be overly dramatic. Is that right?
Maybe a little bit. My role is, his name is Kromov, and he's a lieutenant in the Ponchevedrian government. He works for the Baron. But I think as far as acting, the good thing about the construction of this ballet is each of the acts, their setting is so different. And so, the first act, you're at this embassy ball, and so there's, a high sense of etiquette, and the men are in their uniforms.
That helps tell the story as well.
Yeah, and the second act is, a lot of character dancing and steps, and the costumes are very, Ponchevedrian, I guess. And the last act is in, like a Parisian restaurant, and so there's, a lot of raucous that ensues, and it's more fun and jovial. Yeah. So that I think the settings help to dictate, how you play off your character, and because they're so different, it's, there's a lot of variety and it's a lot of fun.
And Black Swan, how did Natalie Portman do?
I think she did well. I mean, I think there were some critiques about her port-de-bras, which is her arm movements, but it's obvious that she did a lot of preparation for the role, and so it's, you have to acknowledge that.
Is it that competitive in real life? Is it that competitive? Does it make you go crazy a little?
Such a loaded question. Definitely not as much as portrayed in Black Swan, I think. And here at Joffrey, because we're not a ranked company, and so when the choreographers come in, they choose who they want, and so I think that
playing
helps.
field.
Yeah, it helps to be more less competitive.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Aaron. Now, we're going to do the physical portion of the interview. I took ballet, tap, and jazz at Miss Marianne's Dance Factory in Nutley, New Jersey, a long time ago. We're going to see if I still remember. Right. You can correct me. All right, let's see here. First position, second, third. Is that right?
Yeah,
third, fourth, and fifth.
And fifth, the hardest.
Like that. I'm a natural. Aaron Rodgers. Who needs Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, when you have Aaron Rodgers, the ballet dancer? It's the Merry Widow at the Auditorium Theater through February 27th. For Chicago 3 Media, I'm Jennifer Ronay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.